Good morning, everybody, and welcome into the last Football Friday of the year, Jeff. The last Football Friday.
Well, that's not really true. It's the last Football Friday of the season, but of the year, we will be back in 2026 for a Football Friday. No. Anyway,
So
how you doing?
how's
the market? Listen, I know that we're taking some small L's here lately, and I don't know if you want to talk about it or not, but I did see a lot of things are starting to tank a little bit. But I think it's also just kind of like hindsight, right? It's like we did so well for so long. You know, gold's up 300%, silver's up 400%. There's going to be a little correction. Just because it corrects 30-40% doesn't mean that, that's terrible, right?
Well, when you precious metals, as they're called, when you see those go up, those are typically hedge type plays, because usually when the market goes down, precious metals goes up, which is what you're seeing. However, as a day trader, don't care. And now I do care
in my crypto portfolio,
a Bitcoin portfolio. It was actually kind of crazy to watch lose half the value in 2 weeks. So yeah, that's not necessarily the great. But I actually have had an absolute great week, one of my best weeks ever so far this week.
I did see something about that where they were saying that it's like they could see it going down to like 38 as the bottom point.
No.
And then bouncing right back.
If it cracks 50, we're in trouble. I'm just going to put you that right. If it cracks 50, we're in trouble. It did bounce today, so let's just hope that it bounced off that 60. It's almost up to 70 now. We needed to stay above 60. And if it goes down and it actually breaks 50, we're in trouble. I wouldn't even want to know where that's going to be at. I was actually thinking about taking a loan against my crypto. I was so glad I didn't. Just simply for the fact of you can get liquid very, very quickly, depending on how you set it up. So very glad I didn't do that. But, it is what it is. The stock market is tanking. But everything's back today. XRP is up almost 20%. The stock market's up after sell-off this morning. So things are bouncing around. It's just, the best thing that I saw out of one of the things that I looked at, or whatever you want to call it, is, these types of moments are what shake out what we call weak hands. The people that, first of all, I don't know why or how people leverage trading crypto. That's insane to me. absolutely insane. But when you get to Bitcoin prices at $100,000, not many people are going to have, $500,000 to go throw out 5 Bitcoins, right? So you can just kind of keep scraping. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
The swings are crazy, right? Who's the guy, Michael Saylor, whatever his name is, who owns like a couple 100,000 Bitcoins?
He's in the billions, yeah.
Yeah, to see him lose, 4 billion, in a week, it's got to be tough.
He don't care.
No, he doesn't care. He'd like to buy more.
He's trying to buy more, but the problem is he doesn't have any cash. A lot of times. So what he was doing is he owns a company called MSTR, Mr. Strategies. I think it's called just Strategy, something of that nature. But what he was doing is he was just issuing new shares to the company to buy more Bitcoin. So as it goes down to a certain point, and there's a lot of things, like we talk about Elon Musk and stuff like that, yes, he's worth $200 and some billion, but if his stock gets to a certain point based on the leverage of the assets that he has to use it, you could actually get into a liquidation. But yeah, let's not go down that road. Let's talk about some pleasant times, Jeffrey. Super Bowl is upon us. NFL obviously taking we talked about this a couple years ago. The fact that the NFL just literally dominates year round is crazy to me. It's just crazy.
We didn't really talk about it. I know we're going to get into the awards and everything like that, but personally for you, if you were to give out an award, what was the best thing about your NFL year this year?
That I got to be a fan after week 4. I was actually a fan through this entire season, which I couldn't even tell you when the last time that's been. It's depressing, but it's also not.
It was shit, dude. You guys just got it really tough. Being Chicago fans, it's tough. I understand.
You would understand. I mean, I know you guys went through a 26 consecutive game losing streak. So I know that you would understand.
You guys.
Yeah, you guys being the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm assuming that's
barely alive for that.
That's fine. Still part of the franchise. Well, let's get into it. Let's get into it, Jeff.
I'm over here trying to be nice. We're trying to butter you up, and you gotta just come out of
I'm right, Jeff.
Jeff,
you see, there's hardware missing here, dude. I'm on a down season. I'm in a down season now. Okay, it's just. Everything's in shambles. Already looking forward to next year. Well, it looks like the NFL coaching cycle, Jeff, has been completed, or it looks there. Yes.
Yeah.
As we predicted, Clint Kubiak is expected to go to the Raiders, and Mike LaFleur is heading to take over. Let's start off with the Vegas Raiders and the Clint Kubiak. We talked about this before, obviously an offensive mind coming out of the Seattle Seahawks, done very, very well. JSN, I believe he had offensive player of the year in the honors. With Sam Darnold, high offense, playing well. Not a whole lot of bells and whistles when you look at, Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua. You have JSN, who honestly going into the season wasn't very highly tested. But just absolutely exploded this year. So, obviously the Raiders think that they have their guy in Clint Kubiak. I would assume that this is going to be paired with Fernando Mendoza with the first pick of the draft. I don't see how you get away from that. We both said that we did like Clint Kubiak here. Anything to put a bow on this one, Jeff, even though we kind of knew this one was.
No, we already covered this. I thought it was a great hire. I think it'll be fine. Obviously, they're going to need some weapons. They should have some cap space. I think you trade Max Crosby. I think you go get some verified studs for him as well as some picks, and you call it a day. You need a lot, and this is a good starting point to start to rebuild. You got to do it soon because the draft comes up in April, and figure it out.
Give me a time frame here, Jeff. The Las Vegas Raiders on the clock starting in the 2026 season. How many seasons before they're competitively fighting for a playoff spot?
I think they'll be competitive this year.
Ooh, so we're looking like a Vrabel type turnaround?
I just think Genty, we've seen Kubiak run schemes and how that's going to be. I think they'll be able to run the ball, control the clock, keep the defense off the field. I think they have some okay pieces. They have a lot that they need to add to the defense, obviously. I was corrected by some people in the last short that we put out about their offensive line and the health issues that they went through this year. So, hand to God, I wasn't really aware of that.
I was actually going to bring that up. The guy said that they needed 2 pieces, right? I think 2 pieces.
Yeah. So I'm gonna. I listen. You know your team better than I can speak from 30,000 foot level or whatever. So I love that. I don't think anybody was disagreeing with me on it. It was just, hey, look, this is also in addition to what you were saying, part of it as well too. So
because that is going to be one of the bigger things. Because let's look at Ashton Tinty, as you just said, one of the better running backs, but he was pretty much hit on contact every time he touched the ball before he got a yard. His yards after contact were, I think, 95% of his yards.
Yeah, and you saw him pick it up a little bit at the end of the year as well, too, once he got adjusted to the way the actual game speed is and game flow and everything like that. And I think also having a competent quarterback where people can't load the box against you will be fine as well. Listen, we already talked about you got Mayer, you got Bowers, you got 2 of the best in tight ends right there as well, too. Maybe shore up a little bit on the wideouts and solidify 2 pieces of your O-line, and you're good to go for the next 5 years. The best part is that you're not going to have a quarterback for 5 years under contract who's going to be on his rookie deal, and you're able to build around that and not pay a bunch of money. So
you're assuming that.
What do you mean?
If you're going to say 5 years, then you're assuming that Fernando Mendoza is going to work out.
Yeah, I think it'll work out. I think it was funny. I was listening to this girl talk about the time that he spent at Cal, and they're in these classes or whatever, and how about how Mendoza is not one of the guys who sits in the back of the class like a football player, and is incredibly active in terms of the guy in class who is not only asking questions but also challenging the answer from the teachers at a different level. She said he is 100% that guy in every class, and I like that because you're kind of pushing the envelope a little bit. Your mental acuity, I think, is a huge thing, and it seems like he's pretty on pace with that. So yeah, I think especially with will Mahomes be there this year? What is Kansas City going to look like? We're going to expect Denver to take a step back as well too, especially with the dysfunction that they have there from the top. I think the comments that we saw about Bo Nix, the challenge that we had Bo Nix back to Sean Payton after the season as well too, and then you have the Chargers, who I think are going to be the cream of the crop there. That's the team that I would circle in that division, getting Mike McDaniel and not allowing John Harbaugh to just focus on everything else that I would be most worried about. But I think Las Vegas can challenge for a playoff spot for sure.
Can we just come out and say that Bo broke his ankle when he was celebrating in the locker room? Can we just come out and say that?
Yeah, I don't. And then
can we stop this second play shit? Because he was jumping up and down.
Sean Payton came out and was like, "Oh, he has chronic ankle issues," and so it's a big concern. And Bo Nix is like, "I don't have chronic ankle issues. I don't know what he's talking about." The whole thing is just Sean Payton.
Let's move on to the Arizona Cardinals hiring Mike LaFleur. And is this Matt's brother, cousin?
Yes.
I honestly I know nothing about this guy. Absolutely nothing.
You know more than I do, and that's saying something.
I think the big thing in the Arizona Cardinals we're going to talk about is whether Kyler Murray stays or whether he should stay or not. I mean, I know that he's got some big cap hits coming. Nobody's going to trade for him, especially with that contract as well. I mean, they might be stuck with him, yeah? Or, I mean, I guess you could just cut him, eat the cap hit.
I mean, God, if yeah, I don't know what to do, man. I mean, do you just straight up swap Kyler Murray and Tua, and tell each other good luck? Who knows? They're both in the same position of they owe these guys so much money. They shut them down and basically said, we're no longer as a franchise trusting in you going forward. And now what are you going to circle back and double back and be like, well, that was, different. Well, I
mean, you could, I mean, you could definitely do that with Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, that was the different leadership. I see it differently. However, I don't. Can we just both agree that Arizona Cardinals are just
maybe one of the worst organizations in the NFL?
Yeah. Okay. I agree with that. Well, obviously one of the biggest
go along with the Cleveland Browns as well too.
Yeah, who
Yes.
well, we talked about this last week that obviously he was upset. He did turn in his letter of resignation, and it looks like he will be sitting out this year because I think this is the last year that he was under contract.
Yeah.
So he'll just sit out this year, maybe get into the next cycle for the coaching hirings or DC positions.
It's like a Tomlin thing, right? Where like if somebody is to go get him, they're gonna owe draft picks and capital to be able to pry him away. And then ultimately, I guess Cleveland can always say no as well, too. So there is that factor that plays into it as well.
Well, in a year where we had the record tying number of head coach vacancies, 10, there was no black head coaches hired, Jeffrey. For whatever reason, this is a narrative, not minority hires, not Asian hires, not European hires, just blacks. That's the one that we focus on. And none were hired, Jeff. And a lot of people, of course, the first thing coming out of everyone's mouth is this is a problem. This is an issue. This is this is that, this is the other. If you've been a fan of the show, listen to the show 2 years ago. I said the exact same thing when this came out, and I'll say it. And it was nice to see actually somebody from a mainstream that is black reiterate it. It has nothing to do with racism. It has to do with nepotism and relationships. And I said this 2 years ago when I was looking for a job, and I think I was talking to you. We were talking about the same thing. Even in normal day-to-day jobs, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Who can get me in? Who's got an in over there? Who's going to put their name out there for me to be hired? That's all it is. And you can say however you want to say it. You can say, obviously, when you have the Shanahan tree, right? And when a Shanahan tree gets hired, he's going to try to bring in the people that he knows. Same thing with the Sean McVay tree. I mean, look how far out that branch is. And when you looked at, I think they were all together in Miami, I do believe. They brought their people with them, the people that came up through the trenches. So it was actually kind of refreshing to see it for once. It's not like, oh, the NFL is just so racist, but it's not about that, guys. It's not about that in the real world. And what other position company do we look at and say, hey, you know what? I don't have enough of X type of people here. This person's more qualified, but we got to hit a quota over here. I think that went out with DEI, did it not? So again, I'm glad to see somebody said it for what it is. It is not racism. It is nepotism and the relationships that have been built. And when these guys get promoted, they come with them. That is all. It's not a secret society. And if you think honestly that these owners, right, are like, hey, we could bring in Mike Tomlin to that's going to give us the best chance. Do we really want to hire a black coach? I mean, give me a break, dude. It's quite comical anymore. Quite comical.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, it sucks that, obviously Tomlin gets fired. Raheem Morris gets fired again.
Tomlin did not get fired.
Well, Tomlin leaves. Okay. Yep. And Raheem Morris gets fired. I think he just landed with, is it San Francisco? Anyway,
good question. He was scooped up immediately. Let's just say
I think
that.
the other problem is too is that besides a guy like Todd Bowles, who you're looking at,
well, that's another thing they brought in. Todd Bowles had connections with the people that are in Tampa now.
And Arians was a huge proponent of making
Bruce Arians, that's
coach,
what it was.
which most Bucs fans didn't really want, but we've been okay with so far, begrudgingly. Now, I think the problem is too. There's not a lot of African American coordinators as well that have a chance to be an OC or a DC and then get promoted up into head coaching ranks. So it seems to me, yeah, you're kind of right that disconnect of getting pushed along and pushed through by people, and who and maybe not as much what is really much playing a lot into this.
100%. Yeah, I just think that we try to find something anymore.
Yeah,
we just try to find something.
Jeremy said Aaron Glenn. I mean, you have Robert Saleh that's out there as well too. obviously Van Joseph, who's a DC, who's been a head coach before out there in Denver. So there's guys who are around who have taken advantage of the opportunity. Now, Aaron Glenn is probably the odds on him, and Todd Bowles might be the two odds on favorites to be fired first next year. Unfortunately, and it has nothing to do with them being black. It has to do with underperforming and.
Well, I think though that's what a lot of people also stipulate is that when black head coaches do get hired, they get hired as a token hire during an impossible rebuild or a time when a team is expected to do dog shit. So then they get fired immediately, and then they can say, well, we hired a black coach to work out. But at the end of the day, we'll also tell you if a head opportunity is available, the franchise is more than likely in shambles. Look at the Arizona Cardinals. Okay. I mean, you can see it other places that like 2 to 3 years they're fired. Okay. Just work out. Like you couldn't do it. And there's a lot to go back with ownership being involved, GMs, the whole 9 yards. So let's get into that because I don't know if you also saw, Jeffrey, Ian Cunningham from the Chicago Bears, who was the assistant general manager, got promoted to the general manager of the Atlanta Falcons. Now, with the Rooney Rule that Mr. Roger Goodell stood up there and did his dog and pony show talking about how it has to be better, do better, rewards teams that have promoted minority coaches or front office positions. Okay, so he went from an assistant general manager to the general manager. Therefore, the Bears should receive 2 third-round compensatory picks. However, they're not going to get them, Jeff. Why are they not going to get them? Because Matt Ryan says that he will be making the decisions and that Ian Cunningham general manager title is title only, and therefore he is not promoted. It's a lateral move and no picks will be given. Now, there has to be like sub-thread of a sub-thread in a contract to figure this out. And like, how are you going to determine that, Jeff? Like, how are you going to determine how much responsibility Ian Cunningham actually has with the Atlanta Falcons? It should not be. If you get promoted from assistant general manager to general manager, that's it. I don't care if your VP, your area of operations is actually coming in and running your store. You still have you still get paid as a general manager. So how do we get to fly under the radar, Jeff, and say it's a lateral move? No compensatory picks are awarded to the Chicago Bears.
I don't have a good answer for you, except welcome and let the hate flow through you for this Atlanta Falcons franchise that I've had for a long time in my life. So
I blame the NFL. I mean, the Falcons can say whatever they want, but the NFL has got to say, no. He went from what is his title? His title is general manager. What was his title before? Assistant general manager. So you drop the assistant, boom, that's a promotion. Picks are awarded. Could you imagine?
What if you went from bartender to head bartender?
That's a promotion because there's going to be more responsibilities involved with it.
You're not making any more money though.
You got more responsibility. So you're telling me Ian Cunningham did not get a promotion and more money?
I'm just playing devil's advocate here, just to create some content. Honestly,
just to push the buttons. But Jeremy, imagine this: the 3 times that with the Chicago Bears in the season that they had, and the restructuring that they are going to do this coming season, 2 additional third-round picks would be absolutely huge. They are round picks; they don't hit on all the time, but you could fit one of them. I think so. Just another way the NFL is trying to screw the Bears.
Obviously, they hate you guys.
They do. They really do. You could tell.
You
that
see
by
who
the NFL awards.
The Bucks got the brought in this guy from Indiana to help with the offense as well too. I guess quarterback coach for Indiana, help with getting Mendoza to where he is and getting ready for the draft, stuff like that. I guess he was coveted by about 4 or 5 teams, and he decided to choose Tampa to come along with Zach Robinson. So,
I mean, cool why would you not want to work with Baker Mayfield? Yeah, I mean, why would you not? Let's get into it, Jeff. The NFL Honor Awards were last night. Let's start off with the Pro Football Hall of Fame class. Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Luke Kuechly, Adam Vinatieri, and Roger Craig all admitted. Obviously, the 2 big ones are Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft, both left out. I know that the hatred of the Saints. Drew Brees Hall worthy in your eyes?
Yeah. First
Larry
ballot,
Fitzgerald?
First ballot, no questions. Guy had more, more tackles than he had drops in his career.
Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah, yeah, he had more tackles on interceptions than he had drops in his entire career.
Luke
Incredible.
Kuechly, one of the more formidable linebackers from the Carolina Panthers.
For me, probably not first ballot, because of
not his first
longevity.
ballot, though, right?
Is it not? It is his first ballot.
Second year.
Okay.
Second year.
I'm fine with it then. I just don't know if he should be first ballot because of the longevity of career and And then the Vinatieri, obviously. Roger Craig.
Second year.
Yeah, Vinatieri could have been the first ballot.
Yeah. I also just don't like the rules.
Which are?
That, like, you can only pick X amount. Like, if somebody's worthy of the Hall of Fame, they're worthy of the Hall of Fame, right? I mean, why should it matter what somebody else did or a coach or an owner? Right? Like, what? Why? If you're a Hall of Famer.
Got to keep it tight, bro.
Okay. Ian, I know you're out there listening. Walter Payton, NFL Man of the Year. Bobby Wagner from the Washington Commanders, NFL Man of the Year. Congratulations.
I have a little problem with that one, honestly.
Why? Did he not? Was he not? Was he not enough in the community for your liking, sir? Next gen stats moment of the year, Jeff. Moment of the year.
Okay.
What would you what do you have any plays off of your mind that you would think would be the moment of the year type play?
The Washington Hail Mary over the Bears.
That was last year.
Oh, that was 2 years ago. Fuck. Oh, I wish everybody could see Jeremy giving me the double bird right now in the background. Classic.
Well deserved.
Moment of the year. Brandon Cooks. Was it a catch or an interception?
No, definitely. That's in postseason though, so I don't think that counts.
Okay, regular season. Was it a Caleb Williams comeback?
I mean, there's only so many of them, right?
I mean, there's some.
Caleb Williams game-winning Hail Mary to DJ Moore versus the Packers.
That wasn't a Hail Mary.
I didn't think so either, but that's how they worded it. It was just a great pass.
Yeah.
Great pass.
That came to mind. I mean, you could see
he could have had a few of them, honestly.
Either Packers. Even the throw on fourth down to
the one in the corner, absolutely.
In the corner,
it's funny, obviously, on the social media, all of the Fudge Packers are just laughing like it really is their Super Bowl every year they play us. Blah blah blah. Okay, bro. Okay,
it was their Super Bowl. Sorry, they punched through that wall this year.
Now it's just another W on the schedule.
Yeah.
AP Defensive Rookie of the Year, Carson Swishinger.
Okay.
Never heard of him. How about you? He was a Browns linebacker. Yeah, the Browns. Yeah. Okay. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Jeff. Who would be your pick?
I'm assuming Offensive Rookie of the Year, Tetra.
Yep.
Yeah.
Defensive Player of the Year,
Myles Garrett.
Yep. Offensive Player of the Year, already alluded to,
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Comeback Player of the Year,
Kim Kardashian.
She did get come on her back in the video. Little different. Same area though.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody had a backotomy. Go ahead. I don't know.
StreamYard clip that.
Christian McCaffrey. Okay. Yeah. C-Mac.
Coach of the Year.
It's got to be Vrabel, right?
It is Vrabel. However, I thought it was a little crazy though that Ben Johnson only got one vote. I thought that was a little crazy there, but and of course the MVP lingered up, the grandity of them all.
Matt Stafford. I did see Mina Kimes standing for her Drake May opinion I saw Portnoy going off in the sky because he voted for Justin Herbert. He said he's the reason that Drake May didn't win because
he lost by 5 points. That guy did come out and explain he's talking about value.
I thought his rationale was 100% correct. Who means more to what team?
But that's the whole problem with the way that things voted. It's left to interpretation. And that's why a lot of
Are you talking about the best player, or are you talking about the most valuable player for their team? You know what I mean? Like,
correct.
There was probably times when Draymond might have been the most valuable player to the Warriors, you know,
we'll never recognize that.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, there was times where, you know, Pippen or Rodman were 100% the glue on the Bulls, you know?
No, always Jordan. It was Jordan. Nobody else but Jordan.
There's times where, maybe Kyrie hitting big shots or, you know, something like that, you know, to propel.
I did like Jeff Saturday's explanation because he thought that Drake May should have got it as well. He did bring up the head-to-head when they had the common opponents, which were, I do believe, the Bucks, Falcons, Ravens, maybe Jets. Did you guys play? No, maybe Jets. I know there was like 5 or 6 teams, and Drake May
played the Jets.
The Jets. I'm sorry, Drake May considerably outperformed Matt Stafford in those 6 games. I think he went 6-0 with like an 89 QBR. I think Matt Stafford was 50. During that time, and he went 4
times. Explanation too of, like, you know, average depth of target, incredibly high completion percentage. All the analytics that she threw out, QBR, different things like that, were all better. But also, the NFL is like kind of an old head place, and, you know, quarterbacks that have gone, you know, 45-10 or whatever it was that Stafford
have always won the MVP.
Have always won the MVP every single time, and it's just it's clockwork. It's never been different. You could argue it should be.
No argument for me, Jeff. I'm beginning to just Patriot fans, dude, are getting right up there with me with Philadelphia Eagle fans.
They're tough. They're tough.
Right.
They're
uphill to swallow.
It's the Patriots, Celtics, Sox. When they're winning, you know, it's
tough.
Not a lot of graciousness.
They're assholes.
It's almost funnier because you would almost take, like, because they've had so much more success recently than like New York fans, right? So it's like New York fans are sometimes annoying in how they react, but sometimes they're very gracious, you know, as opposed to there's this level of arrogance amongst the New Englanders they're
assholes.
Neither here nor there.
Yeah, they're assholes. That's just all it is. It is what it is. You're absolutely right.
And the rich get richer, which we'll talk about coming up later on our basketball segment.
Well, let's get into it, Jeff. Super Bowl is upon us. I don't even know what number this is. Was it like 61, 50, 55, 52?
Are we allowed to say that word?
510.
The big game.
Yeah, to your point. What are they going to do? We're not monetized anyway. It does look like the line moved this morning, Jeff. Seahawks
it is actually
-5 now.
Do you know which big game this is?
This is 60. Super Bowl 60.
60. It is 60.
That's what I said.
Yeah, line is down to 5. Still minus 230 on Seattle and plus 190 on New England. So
you can play squares on Hard Rock.
Who's drawing them?
It's not even a draw. You could just pick it. So right here, I'm looking at. I just brought it up. Squares final score. They are all like plus 2,000. Plus 2,000 is the lowest, and plus 20,000 is the highest.
Why would you ever play
9-8?
Why would you ever play normal squares at a party ever again?
Right? I mean, you can just pick which numbers you want. So 7-0 is plus 2,000.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That is crazy. Well, I mean, this is coming from a place where you can play against war, so I guess we'll see what happens. As I did say, the line is coming up. It seems everybody's piling on the Seahawks here. I've loved the Seahawks to start with, but I've also been a Patriot hater the entire year as well. We had a little bit of change left in the Hard Rock account. We did talk about, some props, this, that, and the other. I think I'm going to do what I think we were talking about last week with Chad. I think I'm just going to play it live. I was thinking about just taking them on the money line minus 230. But then I'm like,
can I
you're risking $460 for 200. Like, is that really where I want to? Is that really where I want to be? No, it doesn't seem right. So then I was going to buy it down. Seahawks minus 3, which is like minus 185. But then I think I'm just going to wait and bet live if I feel anything. If not, I'm just going to not bet on the Super Bowl this year, Jeff. Or maybe I'll take a square.
So funny. I haven't deposited since I lost my debit card like a month and a half ago. Boys are doing great.
Now you have all this money in your bank account.
Well, it's funny because now, Hard Rock's like, oh, haven't seen you in a while. We'll give you 100% deposit match. I'm like,
well,
okay.
I've never gotten one of those.
But then I know what that means. It's like I deposit $250, they give me a $250 bonus bet. You know what I mean? It's not That's like fine. They're gonna give me, yeah. Full disclosure, when this opened up, I thought I think that Seattle is the right side. And the longer that this has gone on, the past 2 weeks, I'm being pushed as hard as I possibly can to the New England side. And I think that this is going to be a game where if you really look at it and you kind of break it down, both defenses are really good, right? And no Charbonnet now for Seattle. They're going to turn Darnold into being a thrower. How will they mitigate JSN? Will Rashid Shaheed have a big play in this game? That's going to be a game changer. It's kind of where I come down to, because I do think Christian Gonzalez and Carlton Davis are very formidable in the secondary. They can both really play. They can get after the quarterback before as well. Chase on Barham. I mean, they have dudes that are there. Is this when we finally see Sam Darnold turn into the pumpkin? And it's tough because we've tried to find and thread this needle on when it was going to happen for Sam. And we talk about how unbelievable it's been for, the Patriots, and they have the easiest ride there. And it's like, we didn't even mention the fact that Seattle got so blessed to be able to get in this position that they're in. Obviously, we get in the first seed and home field advantage. But the only real good team that they beat was the Rams. I mean, okay. They got 2 of their games. The only 2 games they played, right, were both against divisional opponents that they played for the 3rd time that they know. And San Fran was so banged up, and we knew that the Rams defense wasn't good enough to really slow them down. So I'm being pushed really hard to take the points and take the 5 points with them.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Unfortunately, which is
calling for a double-digit win by the Seahawks. And I think if you're going to do it, you're going to go down that road. If you're not going to take the 5 points, you might as well take the Seahawks like -7 or -10. And I know that sounds crazy, but at the end of the day, you're not getting any value on this at 5. I'm sorry, you're just not. There's no value here at -5, -110.
No,
I don't. I mean, because that right there is more than likely a push. Or you might get it 1 by 1, right? Because 4 would be the sweet number, 3 versus 7, 4. I don't know. I don't know how many games have ever ended 5. I just don't. Now I will say though, I do like. I know TJ put it up in there. I do like the rushing yards. I just had it up and I just turned it down for some reason. Let me go back over here because Sam Darnold over 5.5.
Yeah.
Rushing yards is definitely low. And correct me if I'm wrong, I do believe that the Patriots love to play a lot of man-to-man defense. And with that being said, that just leaves your quarterback on an island. So I think that we could get 1 scramble out of him. I don't know what. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So Sam Darnold over 5.5 rushing yards is -125. I mean, that's literally 1 scramble. I think we can get that.
Yeah, I like the
Your
kicker
point-
prop too. TJ was texting me about this yesterday about kicker prop could hit in the first quarter. But not first quarter, first half. I think there's gonna be a lot of long drawn out drives. I would be surprised if you get a lot of.
You really think you get long drawn out drives with these defenses?
I just don't think it's gonna be like. I don't think you're gonna see a ton of possessions in the game.
A lot of people also have Drake May as the highest rusher of the game. When you look at the yardages, Ramon Stevenson's 40. I mean, Kenneth Walker III is projected at 72.5.
Yeah, I think Travion is going to have a say in this game. I think this is his time to shine.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you, this is really the first time when I look at a Super Bowl matchup, I'm not like, ooh, I feel like I know. And plus, I also have some other interests that I need to root against the Patriots anyway. So I might just let that play out versus, trying to put my money where my hope is as well. I just feel like this. I feel like this is just really, really stinky, man. I just feel like this is stinky. Like it's one of those games where it's like everybody says the Seahawks, this, that, and the other, and then the Patriots come out and just do something, right? Yeah, I do. So I'll probably just hang off. I got my family's probably going to be here, so and they're all Patriot fans. Yeah. I don't know what you mean by NBA picks, but yeah, we're getting ready to get into the trade deadline.
We're actually going to break down trade deadline as soon as we're done with Super Bowl. So if you want to stick around, Adam, cool.
All right, Jeff, give me one best bet for the Super Bowl. One best bet.
Plus 180 on both kickers to make 2 field goals, I think is pretty good. But I mean, Sam Darnold to throw a pick.
Yeah, but like minus 170.
Yeah, I mean, I know it sucks. Hold on. Actually, let me go to real quick. Let me go to defense real quick because I do think there will be some sacks that'll happen as well too from the Patriots. So
yeah, so both kickers that have 2 field goals parlayed is plus 179 on the Hard Rock app.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind Barrymore at plus 325 if you want to take a long shot. You also have on there, Chason. I mentioned him already, plus 185, probably pretty good. If you want to get really frisky, you do have Tonga on there at plus 1100. I think any of those are fine. Honestly, somebody's gonna hit. These squares are wild to me though. Kind of looking at them, I didn't realize that was going to be a thing. So it's very interesting.
I think I'm just going to put together a wild parlay. Over 1.5, Hunter Henry anytime TD, Kenneth Walker anytime TD. Yeah. I think I'm just going to put something stupid together. But my best bet is going to be Sam Darnold over the 5.5 rushing yards. I feel like we get there. We could get there in the first quarter.
Also, if we're looking at like, I guess it's kind of weird, right? The final score square. Because I don't think it's going to be like 7-0, which I know that's the odds-on favorite. I think that's ridiculous. Like 4-1, right? Like
I'm thinking like 31,
Seahawks 24, Patriots 21, something like that.
31-27. So that would be Seahawks 1.
So many points.
Seahawks 1 right there, plus 4,000. Seahawks 1, Patriots 7.
So many points.
Oh, there's a lot of points. Probably won't get there either.
So your best bet is the over.
No, how? No, my best bet is Sam Darnold over 5.5 rushing yards. That's what it is. Last thing to wrap us up on this, Jeffrey. We got Jeffrey's best bet, which was what again? I apologize.
I mean, I said Sam Darnold throw a pick, but I mean, you could take.
I see whatever. One. I need your lead pipe lock of the Super Bowl, Jeff. One bet. If you had to put your entire house on the line.
Payment or worth
everything. If you lose this bet, you're literally going to the soup house. You lost your house, you've lost your family, you've lost the cars, you've lost everything.
Patriots one bet. 5. Trust in Vrabel.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, you know who doesn't trust Vrabel, Jeffrey? That's Tom Brady. Apparently, I don't know if you've noticed, but Tom Brady's been getting called out for saying he has no dog in this fight, and he will just be a watcher. Now, when I first heard it, I'm like, well, yeah, what do you expect him to say? First of all, he's calling the Super Bowl because that's in his lucrative locked up contract that he gets to call every single Super Bowl that is on Fox, which I would assume Joe Buck and the others are probably a little upset about that, but that's a whole different thing. Whole different thing. But I mean, what do you expect him to say? First of all, nobody wants to listen to a Super Bowl announcer that is obviously heavily favoring one team, even though we can see it when Chris Collinsworth literally spits out Mahomes' jizz on his chin. We know what he's doing, but he doesn't come out and sit there and say, I want Mahomes to win. Like, he just does it through his storytelling. So what did you expect? He's also a 2% or 5% owner of the Las Vegas Raiders. And let's also not forget, he was run out of New England. He didn't get to ride off into the sunset and say, hey, I want to retire a Patriots. They said, no, we're moving on. So I have no problem with this. The fact that you got, was it Asante Samuel, basically, like, if you don't retract this, I'm going to call you out and tell everybody who you really are. You got, the former players that he's played with. Now, again, there's some people that are out there saying, well, if you don't support Vrabel, the guy that you played with in the Super Bowl, shame on you. You can still support somebody and not have a dog in the fight. Like, give me a break.
Can I tell you what they all sound like?
A bunch of Nancy boys.
Whiny little bitches, bro. Every single one of you complaining that Tom Brady didn't say that he's rooting for the Patriots in the Super Bowl just really grinds my gears. Like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, who cares? He's obviously an owner of a different team. He's obviously calling the game and has to be unbiased. And honestly, like you said, it was unceremonious the way that he left New England. So let's not try to play this politic bullshit that you pussies like to do that live there. Listen, just let it be. It is what it is, all right? Like, who cares? Move on.
Imagine getting butt hurt because the former player that, again, won a Super Bowl with another team, is part owner of another team, doesn't come out there and is calling the Super Bowl, doesn't say, I want the Patriots to win, hands down. I hope they stomp them.
Ridiculous. Like, absolutely ridiculous.
Whatever. Let's get into it. We got the people clawing for attention. The NBA trade deadline was Thursday afternoon. The big news is Giannis is staying in Milwaukee.
Giannis,
whatever. Get off me nuts, man. It's Friday. All right.
Wow.
Let's just do a quick rundown to some of the bigger ones. James Harden from the Clippers to the Cavs, Anthony Davis to the Wizards, Kristaps Porzingis to the Warriors, Jaren Jackson Jr. to the Jazz, Vooch, always a show favorite here, gets out of Chicago and finally gets a contender in Boston. Congratulations to Vooch. Zubiak to the Pacers, Dosunmu Ayo to the Timberwolves, Chris Paul to the Raptors, Trae Young was to the Wizards. That was a little bit slightly before that. Now I know that Adam over here talked about the Gabe Vincent. I didn't really get into the deeper ones. But let's start off from the top, Jeff. Were you surprised that Giannis stayed in Milwaukee?
Yes and no. I think it's really tough when you got a guy that big that you're trying to find value from. It just seems impossible. Especially midway through the season, it's really tough. And for the amount of assets and different things that they wanted, Miami was always this, place where they said was, I guess mystical or whatever you want to call it, was like a pipe dream that he was supposed to go there. And this has been in the works for so long. And at the end of the day, Miami never even really stepped up and gave a legitimate offer. So, and I also didn't understand the Miami thing either, because it's like, as an offense, how are you really going to run an offense with Bam Adebayo and Giannis together? How does that work? Where is the extended touches coming from to open up the paint to allow these guys to be able to get in there, to be able to spread the court, especially when you be getting rid of your shooters and Tyler Hero, and a guy like Wiggins and possibly Powell and, Khalil Ware. How does that work? So no, listen, I know Giannis came out and said, he's staying put, so on and so forth.
What was the tweet that he just put out today? Legends don't move, legends attract.
Yes. And go to Greece for the rest of the year. Shut it down. Go hang out with your family and your kid and your wife. Call it a day. Regroup in the summer. Figure out where you're going next year. I know
I
the
think Giannis staying put.
PC answer was for him to say this, but I just don't think they could find the right deal.
Well, I think Giannis staying put is a direct reflection of the Luka Doncic trade. Like,
in terms of what?
Well, in terms of the time, like, first of all, when Doncic went over there, he didn't open it up to the rest of the players, right, or the rest of the teams to see what they would even offer, and he didn't even do it at prime time, which he could have done before the draft and got even more of a haul. So I think that in reflection, well, first of all, I think a lot of GMs are just going to say that trade was stupid. It's even worse now when we see the way that finalized all the way through. However, to your point, trying to trade Giannis in the middle of a season doesn't give you all of the bullets in your chamber to get the best deal that you can get. I think the offseason is definitely the way to go. I think you get in the offseason, it gives teams the rest of the year to see exactly what they got, to make moves, to plan for the draft, to do this and the other. I think you get more bang from your buck. Just like we talked about again, and there might be teams at the end of the year that contracts are expiring, that they might be able to get people off the roster to be able to make some more cap room to be able to acquire him. And I think, again, when we looked at the Luka Doncic trade and the fact that he didn't open it up to the rest of the league and just literally said, I want Anthony Davis and this, when there was probably other teams out there that could have provided more, and there probably will be teams that can provide more in the off season. I think that's exactly what this move is from. Why unload him now when you don't need to? Just sit back, wait, and see what pieces you can get. And at the end of the day, if you're the Milwaukee Bucks, I'm assuming that you still would love to have him on your roster. So that gives you months to sit him down and be like, what exactly do you want? What exactly do we need to keep you in Milwaukee? And let us come up with a plan. And I know they've had those conversations before, but whatever is happening isn't. I don't know. I wasn't really surprised to see him there.
It's tough. It does seem like a Max Crosby situation too, where you just have so little that the one asset that you have might be the biggest bargaining chip that you need to be able to rebuild your team.
But at the end of the day, if you don't have a superstar, you're not competing in the NBA. Look at the Bulls. What a poverty organization. We have something like 542 second-round picks now. What the fuck do we want to do with the second-round pick? I don't know. I mean, has there been a handful of times in the history of the NBA where a second-round pick has turned into an absolute superstar? Where was Shai Alexander-Gilgeous drafted? What number? Because he wasn't drafted
12,
very high.
11.
So outside of the top 10, but definitely not out of the first round.
Maybe 8. I don't know.
Who are you drafting the second round? Bronny James? The Bulls are just an unserious organization. Let's just get into this as well. The Bulls are just an absolute unserious organization. They unloaded everybody. Vooch, Kobe White, Ayo, anybody that had an expiring contract, they said, nope, we're not signing anybody. Everybody's gone. We don't give a shit. We're still riding Jordan's coattails in that 2018 season that we had Derrick Rose. And we just retired his jersey. So we had a full sellout for that team as well. It's just a joke, man. And when you look at the NBA is an absolute joke. And this guy commented on our short the other day about how, well, the NFL isn't much better. It's always the same teams playing for the Super Bowl. I'm thinking to myself, what the hell are you thinking, dude? What, because of the Patriots had that one run? There were still teams and different teams that were challenging them in the AFC championships. There were still different. It's not like the basketball to me is just like, if you don't have the superstar, you're done. You're absolutely done. And maybe somebody can point out somewhere that I'm missing it. But I mean, you got a team with LeBron James and Luka Doncic that's not number one in their conference. They're not winning games at the highest level. I mean,
they just got Austin Reeves back. I think they're third or fourth in the West right now. And they also just got hurt though. They also just made a trade for Luke Kennard, who's I think historically like one of the greatest shooters in the history of the NBA, by a sheer numbers perspective. I thought there was a lot of winners and a lot of losers.
So on that one, they did get Luke Kennard, and they gave up Gabe Vincent, and then a 2032, Jeff, a 2032 second round pick. This is how far out we're going here. 2032.
It's not that far away. I thought the Bulls were a big loser. I thought the Hawks were a huge winner. I thought the Warriors were a big loser.
Hey, what's
Hello.
going on, Warrior? Good to have you in. How's the weather up there?
Probably a little chilly, I'm gonna assume.
A little chillier than here, probably.
A little bit. Did you get any snow, War Eagle, at all in the past couple weeks? Warriors, I don't know what the hell they're doing. You go from maybe getting Giannis Antetokounmpo to trading for Kristaps Porzingis, and you get rid of Buddy Hield and Kuminga and ship them to Atlanta. Atlanta made some really shrewd moves to solidify their team in that rotation that I thought were really, really nice. I also thought I do like what the Wizards did.
Okay, hold on. So the Atlanta. Let's talk about that real quick. Not today. Last week when it was snowing. So the Atlanta Hawks made some shrewd moves. They got rid of Trae Young. They got CJ McCollum, Corey Kispert, and then they also got Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield. Is this team competing for a championship?
In the East, probably not, because
let me ask you this question: What defines a successful NBA franchise?
What
a plus 500 record?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're competitive, if you're in the playoffs every single year, if you have home court advantage in the playoffs.
When we talk about playoffs, we're not talking about the play-in tournament, right? We're talking about actual solidified playoff spot.
I just said if you have home court advantage in the playoffs as well too, I think that's a success as well. So that would be a top 4 seed in the East. Yes.
So you said that they made a lot of nice shrewd moves here. So does
I
these
did. I like some of the moves that they made.
Shrewd moves put them in contention to compete for an NBA championship?
Well, that they would have to win the East, and I do think that Boston is really, really good. And I think them getting Vooch to add alongside with getting Tatum back now, and now you have, Vooch. Now you're gonna, dude, having Vooch, having Derek White, having Peyton Pritchard, having Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum on the same team is really, really good.
I mean, the Celtics are 33-8 before Tatum's even back.
Correct. They're probably the best coach team in the East, maybe if not in the NBA. So, yeah, I mean, I think barring they play, I guess they probably will in the finals, one of the unicorns, in Chet or Wemby. I just think it's going to be, I don't know, it's going to be tough.
So let's just do this. Obviously, my feelings on the NBA here.
I agree. Brandon Ingram should have been an all-star. He's having a tremendous year in Toronto this year. Toronto's a great team as well, too. In terms of young guys, play hard, have built through the draft, slightly through free agency, but I like what they've done. A couple trade pieces as well, too, with RJ Barrett, who came over a couple years ago. I like it.
Any other big trades that jumped out at you, Jeff?
No, I did like what Washington did too. I know people are shitting on them, but I thought A+ trades.
Who's people?
Group chats.
Which group chat?
Ian specifically going crazy about
LOL.
how
I thought
how poverty.
LOL.
Well, we're in multiples, and then the other one he's in. It's like it's just terrible to be a Wizards fan, and we're like, you just traded for Trae Young and Anthony Davis. You already have Sarr, who's on there as well too. You have depth pieces. I think they have a legitimate team. Trey Johnson, they have a team, and so now whether that team will come to fruition this year, probably not. But
they have a team at 14-36.
Correct. I think going into next year, I think they'll be one of those sleepers that did well for themselves at the deadline without giving up really anything.
I'm surprised the Pistons are on top of the East right now, and I know they made a couple trades.
They did. They went and got KJ Martin, I believe, from the Sixers, Kenyon Martin's kid, who came over. But they have a really good team that's already on there between Thompson and Duren and Cade Cunningham. They got rid of Jaden Ivey, which I don't. I mean,
yeah, it's the Bulls.
I don't love but it's also tough when you have such a logjam there at that spot with Ron Holland and other guys who you brought in. That was one of the things that I hated about the Magic. The Magic just went and just literally sold Tyus Jones for it was Tyus Jones and 2 second-round picks for cash considerations so that they could get underneath the luxury tax, which is fine. You can do that, but like to not get anything back, and I understand you're clearing up room from Chase Richardson, your rookie, to now come out and play. I don't know. I didn't love that move from Orlando. Once again, the Magic play it very close to the vest. They don't do a whole lot. They're not movers and shakers. They let things naturally kind of evolve and play out, and we'll see how that works out for them. I'm not sure it will, but the Harden trade was really weird to me. And the theory that I saw behind it was even, I don't want to say stranger, but the fact that the Clippers were fielding calls for Kawhi at the deadline as well too, and entertaining that. The fact that Harden left, the fact that Kawhi was originally left off of the All-Star team. I think now he just got added. But just I think all that coming in together tells me that there's some kind of hammer that's about to come down on this whole Kawhi Leonard story, with getting paid to be the face of something under the table, through this tree.
Was that all one of the worst trades in NBA history? Besides, obviously, Luka Doncic will probably be number one for quite a while. But that Kawhi Leonard trade that they did for, he was in that with the Shea Alexander Gilgeous, correct? Well, they sent all of the first rounds.
Paul George. You're thinking about Paul. Paul
George.
Kawhi was a free agent. I don't know
that
if
could
you
be
remember.
That could be a top 5 worst trade there too.
It was well, yeah. I mean, in hindsight, yeah, absolutely. You
traded an MVP for a guy that probably anyway.
We
talked a little bit too much on NBA,
and then a spot where a guy like Cam Thomas, who can absolutely fill it up for the Brooklyn Nets, who's really good, who's only owed $7 million this year, gets waived by the Nets before the right after the deadline because they couldn't find a trade for him. It's like a guy who averages 22 points a game and who's one of the better scorers in the league. You can't find a place for him in today's NBA. It's just wild to me. I guess they don't like shot selection, different things like that. And dude, I watched Brooklyn play last night against Orlando. That is one of the worst teams I've ever seen play. They had 5 kids on the court at the same time, 5 rookies on the court, all 21 and under. It's not a great product to watch. Now, Igor Demine is unbelievable. He's going to be really, really good. But I mean,
were you surprised Ja Morant didn't get moved, or there was no interest in Ja?
I think it's tough, man. I would have liked to have seen Ja go to Miami. Honestly, I thought that would have been a great fit for Ja. I think
don't. Maybe
do.
From a basketball perspective,
yeah,
but
absolutely.
Not a personal perspective.
Well, listen, the one thing about Miami, and Gilbert Arenas had a long kind of a stand and talk about this, about how, Ja goes to Miami. He just bought a house in Miami recently, a couple months ago. He's like, do you put a strip club in your basement? He goes, listen, we'll put you in contact with the right people. You order them. They come to your house. You don't have to go out. You go, you play basketball. You have a chef. They're going to cook for you. You go home. Strippers come to your house. They stay as long as they need to. And you keep it moving from there. You don't need to be out. You don't need to, be active in the city and doing all this stupid shit. And it's just as much fun. You can have it at home. He's like, please allow us to mentor and take you under our wings.
Jeff.
But the basketball aspect of being under a roof in an organization that is that strict and strenuous about, being on time, about, the way the Heat kind of handled themselves that everybody talks about, I thought would have been good for Ja.
That would be like saying, Jeff, we're going to put kitties in your backyard, but nobody that is going to be there. But they're going to have the bar where you can just self-serve yourself.
Well, you can. So I've talked about this ad nauseum sometimes. For me, the appeal of kitties is not the actual alcohol portion of kitties.
It's the camaraderie. It's the people that you're around.
It's the politicking. It's the showing up, talking shit, busting this guy's balls, talking about sports, like the alcohol is the.
But that's what I'm saying. If you put that in your backyard and those people didn't show up, that's the whole lure of it. Just like being in the strip club and throwing thousands of dollars and everybody's seeing me do it. That is the appeal. Not giving a stripper $1,000. That's not the appeal. The appeal is, hey, look at me. I'm
depending on what you're
look at
giving
me.
it to her for, it could
Look
be
at
the
the
appeal.
look at
But
the bottle service. We're coming. Hey, here's your bottle of Louis with our sparklers. Look at me. Go Ja, go Ja, go Ja, or whoever it is. That's the appeal. You can't put it. You can't just have strippers come to your house and be like, "Are you satisfied now?" No, absolutely not. Everybody wants to see you walk into the champagne room, and then, did anything happen in the champagne room? No. I mean, it's good in
nothing
theory.
happens in the champagne room ever.
StreamYard clip that. It's good in theory to what you're saying, but it's just not the human element. The human element is you want to be seen, you want to be out in public, you want to talk to people. Now, I'm sure he doesn't want to talk to a certain amount of people, but he also has his boys and his group. That has gotten him in some trouble and put him in some precarious positions. So then my question is that crew coming down? Is that crew staying in the house? What is that crew doing when John's not around? That's still, I mean, it's if you roll with him, just like with you. Like if you go out and do something stupid, somebody's gonna hit me up and be like, "Did you see what Jeff did?" And I'm gonna be like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's Jeffrey." I mean, there's association that comes. There's an association that when your friends do stupid shit, you're associated with it.
Auburn War Eagle, are you a Bulls fan? Are you a Bulls fan? Who's this 5'11" Japanese point guard you guys got, Tyson?
I don't know.
You don't know,
dude.
You just went on a 5-minute rant about the Bulls and them.
Exactly, because we're starting a 5'11" Japanese player passing the ball all around the court. I don't know. Bulls are just a poverty. They will no. You'll get my attention when it's deemed worthy. Also, can we just say this real quick before we wrap this show up? You mentioned a little bit of something about All-Stars. Can we talk about how the NFL Pro Bowl is just an absolute joke?
Shambles.
Like being voted to the Pro Bowl should mean nothing on any resume. I don't think when it comes to Hall of Fame, Pro Bowls are even considered anymore. But when you have Shedeur Sanders in the Pro Bowl, and I will also go on the other side for all you haters out there. Tim Tebow was on a Pro Bowl, by the way. Tim Tebow made a Pro Bowl. Yeah. What are we doing?
Can we go back to and I know they had the Pro Bowl. They didn't have a skills competition this year, right?
I don't know. I didn't watch.
Anyway, I miss when they used to have the quarterbacks with the chalk on the football and you had to hit the target, move in, and it was, Warren Moon versus Dan Marino and, Brett Favre and,
The only thing that's good out of the Pro Bowl, in my opinion, is the interaction with children and how
the fan aspect is really good.
Not the fan, because there's just too many weirdos, dude. Too many weirdos.
There are especially people in the memorabilia industry who, have to weasel their way in to get a signature or
to go sell it for $1,000. Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. It's ridiculous. But yeah, the Pro Bowl just needs to go away. Just go away.
Got a lot of stuff behind you back there now. Have we updated the wall?
No, I just had to move the trophy that was taken away and just kind of slide that down. That's still Mitchell Trubisky right there. Mitchell.
I'm not giving the Schneid back.
Wait, you have that?
I've had it for years.
You have the toilet bowl trophy?
I have the Schneid. But it has a compromising picture of me on it, and I'm not.
3 times. Whenever you get back from your shit, next time you're in Jeffrey's house, we have a mission for you.
First of all, you will never find it. You don't know where it is. You can search my house. I will maybe give you.
Jeff, all that tells me is it's in a box in your garage.
We could play this somehow.
So I just need to look for storage areas with boxes that is completely sealed, and it's going to be in one of those boxes. So if you want to play you give me a 2.5 hour window.
No. That's definitely not what we're doing. 2.5 hour window.
Well, yeah, because you're just going to take it out of the house. But we have to have rules. It has to be in the house, and you have to show it afterwards. So, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And if I find it, it's implemented back into system.
I'm
exactly as it is. If it's not found, then it goes away.
You got to understand that picture has got to
Guys,
it's
let
got
me
to
show you what the picture just talking about here.
Don't do this. Please don't do this. Don't do this, Tyson. Internet lives forever. Tyson, stop. I'm telling you, stop.
Your children will see it, Jeff, at some point. They probably already have.
They don't need to. That's the thing. You can avoid this.
Do you think that they will look less of you when they see the picture?
Of course.
I don't think so, Jeff. I don't think so. I don't think.
Okay.
I think that you are just such an incredible human that there's no way that anybody could ever look at you in a different light.
Right.
Well, anything to sign us off with, Jeffrey? Happy anniversary to my beautiful wife. 7 years in the books, Jeffrey.
Congratulations.
7 years in the books.
What are you doing?
Nothing.
Why?
Well, tomorrow we're going to link
CNC. Oh.
We have our 50% off coupon. Half price caviar, baby. Oh, there you go. See, there you go. So we're gonna go over there, do a little Grand Floridian lobby bar, a little pregame, watch a little fireworks, and then Saturday, I think we're going, of course, to Miami or somewhere. I'm pretty sure she's making me take her to Miami.
Tomorrow is Saturday.
Oh yeah, no. Oh, in a couple weeks. We're going back.
Have you?
There. And then I also got her tickets for what's that guy's name?
Bad Bunny.
Bocelli. Andre Bocelli.
Yeah. Real quick. So Amanda has narrowed down where she wants to go. You know, originally for her birthday, she wanted Paris this year. We got to go to Brazil in September. It's not going to happen, so on and so forth. So she wants to go to New Orleans instead. So we found a good time kind of in between Jazz Fest and French Quarter Fest, and kind of a little midweek thing that we're going to do, which is cool. Have you guys, A, been to New Orleans? And B, where do you recommend staying in New Orleans?
No and no.
You've never been to New Orleans?
No, we were going to go for the Gators when they played in LSU, but that was coming off of COVID, and they were requiring vaccination proof. So we decided not to go. So yeah.
Jeremy?
Yes, and stayed at the Crown Plaza.
Well, it's between the Ritz or the
gotta be a Marriott property, right?
Yeah. Well, I because I can get the Ritz for it's like $220 a night. So
I mean, yeah, can't go wrong there. Oh, that's where we're going. We're going to it's not the Ritz. Never mind.
Where are you going?
Oh.
The Four Seasons Fort Lauderdale, I guess, is a new place.
Oh, I thought he was going to say something like, a Holiday Inn Express, but
yeah.
Bro, I've actually talked the wife into is the Hilton Garden Inns. Some of these Hilton Garden Inns are pretty nice now. And then you get to the room and it's still a little thin on the walls, but dude, they got nice restaurants in there now. We got a nice tuna poke bowl. It was good stuff. Highly recommend Hilton Garden. And it's only like a couple $100 versus
Jeremy, what do you like
$1,000 a night hotels my wife likes.
Jeremy, what do you like for the game?
I have one prop bet in that I was turned on to, and is each team scoring one rushing and one passing touchdown in each half.
Man, you guys think a lot of points going to be scored. All right.
I mean, it was
that's wild.
I hit a bet a week and a half ago, so I had a little extra coin, so I just put some money on it, and
all right.
I hit for one big bet last year, which got my notification from the Hard Rock that I hit a big bet, and got that in the mail. That was nice to see with my W-2s.
Yeah, I'm a negative player. They love me. Listen, I gotta go. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Enjoy your time. Enjoy Super Bowl. It's been a fun year with football. I will be back next Wednesday, I'm assuming.
Wednesday.
Cool.
You don't want to do a Monday recap show?
Absolutely not. If we know anything about the Monday after Super Bowl, Jeremy, we can just.
My wife goes, we did a whatnot show breaking a Formula One, and she's like, we did it last Monday. She's like, let's schedule another one for this Monday. I go, absolutely not.
No.
The world's going to be hungover. That's going to do it for us today on the Under 4 Fan. Enjoy the Super Bowl. If you are a Pats fan, good luck to you. If you are a Seahawks fan, good luck to you. I hope all of your bets hit. Everyone have a great day. And if you happen to be driving over the weekend, please, for the love of God, stay out of the left-hand lane.
Be great.
What's up, Goof?
Call.